My ass hurts. Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to the Queer Vision podcast. I am Coe of Kanekalon, Coe Star. This is...
Hi, I'm Becca.
And we're the Queer Vision pod. Today we sat down with Tia, or better known as FluffyHatLady, who makes iconic, big, fluffy crocheted hats, and to talk to her about her story falling in love with crochet, how her business came about, and her time in Ghana, and then also intersectionality, which we need to talk about more. So yeah, this is a really good podcast. Sit and dive in with us, and my brain is going numb.
Oh my god, is that the Fluffy Hat Lady?
Yes, it is I. How is everybody?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. This is cool.
Yes, I'm so excited that you decided to sit down with us. I apologize on my behalf. My brain is very foggy right now. I've got the after lunch brain fog. I'm gonna be so.
It'd be like that.
But I'm so glad that you decided to sit down. We absolutely love you and like everything that you. Can you hear us all right? Also.
Yeah, my headphones are kind of but I can still hear you guys good.
Okay, work. Yeah, we absolutely love your work. You know, when you vended with us at the launch party, you were a huge hit, and everybody loved you. So I'm so glad to be sitting down and talking about everything.
Oh yeah. It's an honor for me to be here. So thank you for having me. I've never done an interview before, so this is cool.
More people should interview you. I feel like you're like a very good speaker and an entertaining.
Oh my gosh, I agree. I agree. More people should pick my brain. I have a lot of things to say.
So I guess a good place to start is, in case anybody listening, watching, reading doesn't know, just tell us a little bit about like your business. What made you want to get into crocheting? How did this all start for you?
Oh yeah, so really it started because I wanted some cute hats and stuff, but honestly, I just didn't have the funds myself to pay for them. And then I started making stuff, and I was like, wow, this is actually really fun, and it's a creative outlet for me because I don't really draw or paint anymore like I used to, and this has been really fun. I like I guess the way that it kind of takes my brain off of things happening in the world. Like there's a lot of stuff going on in the outer world, and then in my own personal world, like it helps me get away from all of that, and I'm just doing my thing. And then people started asking me, "Oh, could you make me a hat?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then people would be like, "Oh, I want one of that type of." And then it just escalated from there. And I was like, I want to make more stuff than just hats too. So now I'm making leg warmers, headbands.
I'm so excited for that.
I want leg warmers.
Oh yeah, I made myself a skirt. I'm gonna make a top to go with it. So it's only getting better and better from there.
Yeah,
that's so cool, Tim.
I'm so
Thank
ready.
You.
Sorry, I'm so ready for like the outfits and stuff. That's what I was even thinking, because I was like, you know, you've got the warm hats and stuff, but like when winter ends, like I don't know. I think maybe it was me and Megan that were talking about it the other day, and I was like, I know, like when winter ends, she's gonna come up with something else. Like she's gonna start crocheting skirts or skirts or something. Like I just felt it. I'm so glad that.
Oh yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah.
Definitely starting the business has helped me branch out from just my comfort zone of just hats.
So like we just interviewed Bree, and Bree also is a crochet artist. And they said that they sometimes struggle with like the capitalism aspect of it. And like the creativity. But like they're like okay with it right now because they feel like they can have like a balance and they're only gonna create what they want to create. Do you feel the same? Or do you feel like because like you have like a niche with the hats too that you can create as many of those as you want and make your money? You know what I mean? Or do you feel like you don't want to like how do you balance being burnt out with your creativity and like selling your art?
Oh, that's a good question. Really? How do I put it? I enjoy it as a hobby, so I don't know. Not to say that other people don't. I don't know if I don't want to sound weird, but like I do appreciate if I'm gonna make something for somebody that I do get paid for my time. So I don't necessarily mind the capitalist aspect of it because I enjoy making stuff for people, of course, but I also don't have the means to really, purchase that volume of yarn to make stuff for free for people as much as I wish I could. I will get to that point eventually, just making stuff for free for anybody. But right now I'm in a spot where if I could get any little side money I can, then I shall. And with this, it's been like, this is actually pretty interesting to me. I love making stuff for people and I love seeing people's reactions to their things that they have said, like, oh, I want it this way and this color. And they're like, oh my God, this is what I wanted. Like that's what I do it for. Like, I love making people happy. And this is making me happy because I have an outlet. And for a long time, I didn't have anything that was necessarily a outlet for me. I was just going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home. Now I have something to do in my spare time that, okay, I can make a spare. This is like $40. I can make a spare $40 just for making a hat for somebody that they specifically wanted.
Yeah.
Like that's cool to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really mind it. And it's also, like I said, I've gotten some special requests just based off of people asking for just one of these hats, or just like the other event the other day at Queer Line at the launch party. I got a couple of custom orders just based off of that. And that's pushing me to go beyond what I'm used to. And I really appreciate that because I could stay the same forever and just keep making cat booties.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, I'm learning how to use the full range of crochet. Crochet is an art style. There's so many different forms of crochet that I'm going to be exposed to because I have to learn these things to make special orders for people. And that's so cool to me. Like, I don't mind it at all because there's a lot of benefits for me in the end. I'm my mental health is a lot better. I'm making a little bit of side money and I'm learning a cool skill that I believe everybody can do, but some people convince themselves they cannot. I think anybody can be taught how to crochet. I am learning skills that not everybody feels the need or want to tap into, and that's really cool to me. So I don't mind it at all, really. It's fun.
And your hats are so unique.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know that I've
Thank
seen
you.
like, the cat beanies, but not at that like, size. Like the
Mhm.
fluffiness of yours are so unique, and when people see them,
Yes, thank you.
that is just
I had got the idea from I just walked to the not walked to the yarn store, but I went into the yarn store and I was walking to through the yarn and I saw some the first hat I did was like a velvet texture and it's kind of thicker. And I was like, wow, like not only will it not take me so long to make a hat because really I could use a thinner yarn and spend all day crocheting one hat. But if I use a thicker yarn, I'm killing two birds with one stone. Not only is the texture really nice and I really like the fluffiness, like this feels nice. But it's also like I don't have to take as long and I can make multiple things. And I'm just one of those people that like I don't like to spend too long doing one thing. It doesn't matter what it is. And I don't know why that is, but if I could bang something out real quick, I'm with it. I love it. So that's what gave me the idea to work with thicker yarns is I'm just a person that doesn't like time consuming things. And that's kind of hard to avoid as a artist. So
I think like you have such a good branding brain already to be like so early in your journey. Like just the way that you've even I don't even know if it was intentional or not, but like you've created such a brand already just from the hats, I feel like. And I see that at the event because the amount of people that were just wearing them and then everybody's like, oh, like that's why when people were asking me like how the event was going, I was like, I know she's doing good because it's so recognizable and so different
Yeah.
from what other people are doing, and that's what I love. But yeah, I just wanted to applaud that because I think that is going to take you really far. That along with like, you know, even the fact that you're like, okay, I don't want to waste time doing something this other way if I know that I can do it maybe more efficiently. And like from a business standpoint, like it's still, I mean, you should still take time with your art and do what feels right to you. But from a business standpoint and like taking the art out of it a little bit, like that is smart.
Yeah. It was very unintentional. I was
It was
just
a
like,
win-win-win.
dang, like I'll just make a hat that won't take as long. And then I was like, but winter is coming. It
Mm-hmm.
started, when I came back to America, because I was in Ghana for like the first half of the year, last year. So when I got back to America, I was like, dang, like it's gonna be cold soon. People are gonna need like warm hats. And that's what also gave me the idea to work with the thicker yarn. I was using a thinner yarn that was still just as fluffy, but once I saw how it was getting cold in October, September, I was like, yeah, it needs to be a lot thicker because it's just cold. And I don't like the cold too much. So definitely unintentional.
And I know, so you were in Ghana for a little while, right? Do you want to talk about like how that was for anyone? I don't know, might be interested of like, oh my God, what it even like to live in that country
Oh yeah.
Or
Yeah.
or out of America in general?
Yeah.
Oh man, it was so cool. It was like, honestly, there was a lot of different perspectives of that whole situation. Cause it's like when you leave America, you learn like how much we are scammed daily. Just just scammed. I mean, the healthcare in America is terrible. Uh you could go to the doctor over there for something minor and only pay about $10, $15 US dollars for being seen. And in America, if you don't have insurance, that's a $500 trip sometimes. And that's crazy for like a cough. And it could be nothing. Like that, stuff like that, you get to see the ways that America is really just, they don't care about their people too much. Now, on the other hand, there are small things, like really minuscule things, I would say, that wake you up to like, okay, I can appreciate America for this. And unfortunately, a lot of that stuff is just really like consumerism, capitalistic things, like holding on to a lot of things. People in Ghana don't really, I mean, it depends on person to person, but like people don't really hold on to things that they don't need. Like for us, we may get like 17 different decorative cups because they're just like Hello Kitty and cute. But over there, you're probably gonna have like your basic 3 cups in the house. Like you're not gonna overdo it because it's just you in the house. It's not a lot of like overconsumption there. Um, the food, oh my god, like not even talking about how good it was. Let's put that aside for a second because we could talk about that another time. But like the food is so much better for you out there, like so much better for you. There's not as many preservatives, GMOs, things like that. um I want to say that was the clearest my skin has ever been because I consumed a lot less sugar. Everybody was like, girl, your skin glowing, girl. First of all, it's the sweat. People forgot that it was hot. Like I was in Africa. Like it was hot, but also I wasn't having a whole lot of sugar. It was a lot of all natural sugars. And even in the sodas, like a lot of all natural sugars. um what else? You don't realize how much you miss Pepsi until you go out there. It was so hard to find Pepsi. I don't you can find a lot of things we have out there, but it's the means of depending on where you're living, how far you want to drive, things like that. I lived out on the countryside, so I drove about 20 minutes to Cape Coast to get the things that I needed for like food and household items and things like that. And stuff can get rather expensive out there. It can get expensive. And I think that's something that people need to know before they go out there. Like you definitely should save up ahead of time. As much as you can. I'm not going to put a number on it because there are ways to make money out there, but you do have to save up. Go out there with some money because once you get out there, unless you know somebody, I don't know how you're going to get some money. Just you got to do what you got to do out there. It's cool. The people were nice and friendly. Most people, a lot of times they're just kind of like because of where I was at in the countryside, they're kind of like, whoa, there's people who are not from here out here, and they will stare, but it's more of like a wow, like, what do you know about a Cebu? Like, nobody knows about a Cebu, but people know about Cape Coast. So it's things like that. Like I said, it was hot, but that's, you have to know that it's hot. I left in December, so I went from cold, middle of winter, or the winter was just starting, to just full on 80 degrees, 90 degrees weather. And my body was like, yo, what's going on? It was cool. Watch out for the mosquitoes. I caught malaria. It was crazy. Watch out for the mosquitoes. They're no joke. But there's a Ghanaian joke out there that if you catch malaria, that means you're Ghanaian now. Hey, so I'm Ghanaian. But like, it's cool out there. It's I don't know. It's just like, it teaches you how to appreciate America, and we're also don't appreciate America. America sucks. So it's like, it's both ends of the spectrum. Like, but it was such a fun experience. I recommend it to everybody. Like, at least once in your life, travel to an African country. Ghana was cool. Nigeria is kind of similar to Ghana, but you have to be very careful and go to the tourist areas. Just be, safety is a concern out there but you're a tourist. Like, that's anywhere.
Like, being queer.
I'm sorry?
I just want to ask about like being queer, because like I know a lot of people like feel odd like booking like a single hotel with like a single bed with like their queer partner, you know, and just like anywhere in the world that they're not quite sure what the like laws and situations or indecency laws are.
Yeah. Now for that, it depends on the region. I would say do your research before you travel.
Yeah.
There are a lot of regions that are straight up like, that's not allowed. Oh, I pulled my mic out. But they're just straight up like, that's not allowed. And that's just their culture. And I cannot remember for certain, but I think one of the places that are more progressive in that right, or at least fighting for those rights, would be Cape Coast in Ghana. And not Cape Coast, Accra in Ghana. I'm not sure about Cape Coast. That's just where I was close to. I didn't really see, out there, I didn't really see many tourists, but I definitely didn't see any queer people around. I don't know. There are a lot of queer people in general in Ghana, Africa. We everywhere, okay? We everywhere.
Whether not doesn't affect whether we exist, you know, but like, yeah.
Yeah. I think it is just a regional thing, and you would have to do your research and be safe, because just because in our country it's okay does not mean in another country it is okay. And there's nothing you could do about that as a tourist. You just have to know not to go there. Don't put yourself in an unnecessary situation. Be safe always, and just do your research. But I think I don't want to spread false knowledge, but if I'm not mistaken, Accra may be one of the places that they're fighting for that, and they're saying, hey, listen, we gay and that's okay. And I think that that's great, because we can see we see it here, but you can see it over there as well, where it's welcome and not welcome.
And I think it's so important too that you even said like, you're a tourist, you can't really do anything about it. Because I think sometimes in like, especially like American culture, even like we can be like, oh, like we can go and make change. It's like, you can make change where you're at, but like if you're not from a place, like that really at the end of the day is up to the locals to be able to do that. Like it's different.
Yep.
It's different when you provide support versus like trying to be like, I'm gonna save you. Like,
Yep.
I think sometimes Americans can fall into that mentality. So yeah, I echo that and appreciate that you did say that.
Yeah, because even one of the cultural things that I kind of forgot was a thing, but I am aware of it, but even just the way you dress out there, it could be a red flag. Like, I wore a crop top one time, to we owned a bar for a short period of time. It didn't really take off much because it was just like there was like 7 different bars in the area. Like one was right across the street. There was a lot of competition. So it was just something to do. And I wore a crop top. And on the way back, this dude, he had grabbed my hand. He was like, "Ooh, mommy looking good." And I was like, "Ah." And Zay was with me. My husband was with me. But it was just like, you dress a certain way, they're going to assume that you a prostitute, and that's just a cultural thing. That's not nothing you can change. And I forgot that as an American, you do have to watch what you wear in certain places just because they have their own stereotypes. So even if you were a native and you were wearing crop tops and really short shorts and things like that, they would think you for the streets. That's just how it is. And I forgot that. And so I was out there in a crop top, and I mean, homie thought I was for the streets. And I was like, oh gosh. So it's things that you cannot change as a local, or I'm not a local, as a tourist. They don't care that you're American. You have to go by their rules because you're out there.
Yeah.
That's just that.
Yeah, this is like an important reminder for people to be realistic about like when people are very like, America's going to crap. I'm moving to a different country. Well,
not all of us can.
Not all of us can. First of all,
Yeah.
And second of all, like, a lot of countries are in the same boat that we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 So, or worse, or you're gonna be an obnoxious tourist in their country, and you're gonna. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just good to keep in mind like the different dynamics because they're different everywhere.
Yeah, but at the same time, as somebody who's like traveled a lot, I feel like too like that can't like there are things that you need to research obviously and make sure your safety is okay. But I don't think that shouldn't be the hindrance of like it's scary no matter where you go, especially if you're alone. Like obviously there are places that like you and I may not go. But at the same time, it's like there are a lot of places that are very, very safe for us. And like, especially if you're going like with 1 or 2 other people, like figuring out ways to do it in more affordable. I know it's still expensive, but like more affordable ways. And like, just being like, you know what? I want to go to Europe. What are the safest and not safest places for me? Like, okay, are there going to be places where I can't hold my partner's hand? Okay. Do I like what you have to figure out your level of safety and your level of like modifying, and then also like you guys all said, like modifying your own behavior because realizing it just because you like to lean on things when you stand, you look American. You wear certain socks, you look American. Like you're gonna be a target no matter what. And so like recognizing that this is now your time to learn from the other people in the area and finding friends when you're over there, they can help. Like it's not scary to travel. It's just you can be put in scary situations just like you do.
Yeah. If you're not.
Now, while you're doing all that research on your safety, do a little bit of research on being respectful of the people that you're literally visiting their home.
Yes.
Because
it's all about respect.
We say that about tourists here all the time. Like, we hate these New Yorkers and Californians that come to Raleigh and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
They're like disrespectful of the South sometimes, you know? And they're like,
exactly.
Like a New Yorker, a white New Yorker will come to North Carolina and be like, all North Carolinians are racist.
You
know how many black North Carolinians we have? Like that's like a dumb stereotype. Like it's true.
Exactly.
Some of the cities that are like really scary cities, but just to say that like the whole South is red, screw the South is like something that we are like very passionate about. Starting a queer magazine in the South, you know?
Right.
What city are you from, Tia?
I'm sorry?
What city are you from? Are you from North Carolina? I never remember.
Yeah, I'm from North Carolina. I was born in Tarboro, and I lived there until I was about 4 or 5, I believe. And then I moved to Raleigh, and I just stayed in Raleigh. I used to live near NC State off of Western.
Gotcha.
And then I moved to kind of the northern part of Raleigh. And now I'm over,
Don't dox yourself.
Oh, yeah. So,
but now she's around.
But now I'm around.
The triangle.
I'm in the Raleigh area.
The triangle. General triangle, yeah.
General triangle area.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how has your experience like in North Carolina? You said you've been here your whole life. So how do you feel like that's either changed for you? What do you feel like are some challenges you've faced, or
also your favorite parts?
And your favorite parts, yeah. Like what's your like pros and cons? I guess is what I'm asking. Thus far.
Well, dang, of North Carolina in general,
or like Tarboro versus Raleigh.
Oh man. Well, I could say one thing. North Carolina is so diverse, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's I mean, I have been around so many people, so many different types of people in my life, and I'm still meeting different types of people in different communities within communities. And I don't know, it's like North Carolina is a melting pot within itself. There is a lot of I don't know how to explain it. Like we have a mix between like progressive people and people who are just like very traditional, stuck in the same things. We have a mix between conservative people and more liberal people. I stay more towards my people who is for the people. I don't even get into everything. And just as long as you are a morally sound person, I'm cool, because the thing that I have learned is everybody's going to have differences and everybody's not going to agree on everything. There are some things that I've learned that like some stuff is just how people grew up. Like North Carolina is split. So you may have friends where you meet them and they are so liberal and they are frontline fighter, like ally down. And then their parents are the complete and total opposite. And honestly, that's what radicalized them. And so that makes sense to me. And I'm glad to see the progressive change over the years, because I've been seeing both ends of the spectrum. Like I'll go back and visit my hometown a lot, and it's getting more and more progressive. People are becoming more open-minded, but it's still a lot of people who are the same mindset down, just not focused on the right things, not focused on people as a whole, as a community. It's focused on whose car looks better, whose outfit looks better, and who's doing this and that. Stop worrying about all that. It's not important. You know, America is going through some things and we all need to be banded together. Exactly. So I would say in Raleigh, though, it's always been changing and becoming more progressive. It's people I've seen grow up and change their perspectives on, and I mean this in a general sense of, if we're just going to talk about like the type of people, conservative versus liberal in North Carolina, because that's just like the main groups we got here going on. I've seen a lot of people grow up and just realize that the same things that they grew up knowing or taught are just like, that's not okay. It's not cool. There's a lot of things that we just need to be all on one page about as a community, as people, as regular working class people. And it's been nice to see that growth in Raleigh. Like, I mean, I grew up witnessing some crazy stuff. Like I grew up in the projects. I grew up in townhouse. So like I've seen both perspectives. Like there's a lot of things that people are starting to come together and realize like, okay, we all different, but we can all agree on one thing. And that's nice. I love to see that. North Carolina is changing. There's a lot more people. And I think another aspect of North Carolina changing so much is people coming from the outside in. There's a lot of people coming from up north that were already on the progressive wave that are coming down here, making waves down here. And that is so needed, because I think a lot of people can agree with me. Growing up in North Carolina, we have seen some very ignorant things growing up. And it's hurtful because, you know, as children growing up, we're like, what's the problem? Like, what actually is the issue? And there's no issue. It's just what people have traditionally believed over the years as North Carolinians, as people of the South. it's some things that they haven't grown out of. But I think with people coming from the outside in, people realizing like, okay, our rights are more important than the things that we believe in that aren't even, like aren't even important, aren't even like structurally sound things to believe in. We're getting past that. And I love to see it. I've seen so many organizations rise up. I've seen a lot of communities rise up. I mean, I've seen community meetings. Like I used to never see that growing up in high school and stuff. People are having community meetings to make sure that people are informed on, what's going on. I've seen community gardens starting back up, and that's really cool to see. I think that North Carolina is starting to get it together, and we're starting to realize like, okay, we need to be banded together. Something's very wrong here, and the only way we can fix it is to get our communities together. And I'm glad to say that I'm a part of a lot of these different communities, because there's so many different places where people are needed and don't know that they are needed. Like it's important to stay informed. If you see someone reposting something in the Triangle area and it's like a community meeting, definitely repost it. You never know who can make it, who can show up. It's all important. We gotta continue to move towards progression, because it's just a lot of not okay stuff going on, especially with our rights. And in order to protect our rights, we need to all be informed and be on the same page so we can all move forward.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
I feel like we've talked a lot about that, and I feel like, we've kind of talked about it too, but I've hung out with you in person a little less. But like whenever we first started like actually like hanging out and getting this going, it was a lot of this side is against this side, and like every single time this person talks, then this person just gets emotionally like angry, and then it shuts down the conversation, instead of like coming up to a person and being like, hey, I feel like blah 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 isn't working in our government, and I'm really worried about blah 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 group. And then it's like, okay, well, like, okay, yeah, I could see that being a problem. Maybe we should work together and figure out how we can talk about it. And I know I saw, and I think I kind of talked to you about it as well, like in December, January, like after the election results came in, and after like all the stuff that like Project 2025 was kind of getting started, I saw a lot of stuff on my feed that was like, if you know anybody who voted for Trump, cut them out of your life. If you know anybody who voted third party, cut them out of your life. And like I know I personally really like, I had a visceral reaction to that, where I just broke down, because I was like, there's so many people in my life that I know that they were just not got, you know what I mean? Like where it's just like they thought like this person, like they're in their echo chamber. So it's like they're told, okay, well, I'm a hardworking person, I should be here, and this person is telling me that they're going to make it, so I'm here. And like I feel like we're not going to get through to them if we aren't having those hard conversations, or even the easy conversations. If you just stop going in it and like, you voted for Trump, you hate me. Like that's not inclusive for a conversation. Like going up and being like, hey, so you voted for Trump, like what is it that you think that he's going to do that we could help and work on? Or like, what is it that you're seeing such a visceral reaction that you had to vote for this person? How can we work together to get the local government to where it needs to be? Like things like that we just aren't having conversations. And I feel like the higher up are doing that on purpose. They're dividing us. They're making it so that we fight each other, because it's easier for them to gain control of us if we aren't having conversations. So communication between party lines, and even not even party lines, just belief systems, communities, like it's so important to get that different perspective. And there's times where like I've sat here and been like, no, it should be all love and light, and then my dad, who's 75 years old and a conservative, looks at me and says, bitch, how long do you think that's gonna last? Like he can look at me and say, I was in a system like this because the 70s was like this, and this is what happened. And like you can just like, oh.
And like all that to be said too, it's like it's not any minority group's responsibility either to always feel the need to like bridge the gap, like whilst we should, like you said, honestly, like I said, like we should acknowledge like, hey, okay, sometimes like it's not always like this person like hates this person immediately. It's more like, okay, this is the conditioning that they've also had from society, and like the things that they've experienced in their own kind of echo chamber of thought that's made them kind of stay in this belief. Yeah, essentially, but like just because of that, like it's good to acknowledge that, but also acknowledge the fact that we all are not always strong enough or have enough energy to really always meet, you know, people in the middle or have that conversation, and that is equally as valid as well.
And that's where personal boundaries, I think, are the important thing, where it's like every single day come into this conversation where like, am I willing to educate a person today? Am I willing to sit down and have a conversation and educate myself? Am I willing to see something on TikTok and do the research? Or do I just want to believe and be angry today? And that's like, as long as you're acknowledging it, I feel like you're fine. But if you start cutting every single person out that disagrees with you, we're just going to have... we're going to be more divisive. And that's just going to make it so much easier to believe the misinformation that people are spreading. In which case, again, more divisive. And then it's just like a big snowball and then we're fucked.
3. First of all, everyone needs to be comfortable with saying, I don't know.
Correct.
Because everybody, like, now thinks that they're, like, a medical expert and an epidemiologist and a Black Hawk helicopter expert and, like, all these experts on things that we don't know shit about.
Yeah.
And I am ripping this completely from Hank Green, who just crashed out.
I love him.
He just crashed out on the internet because he was like, I need all of y'all conspiracy theorists who are spreading even more misinformation to just comfortably look in the mirror and say, I don't know jack shit about Black Hawk helicopters. I need y'all to comfortably say, I don't know jack shit about epidemiology. And that was my first thing, is that we need to be comfortable saying, I don't know. And then doing it and listening to the experts. Because that's half the problem, is people stop listening to scientists.
Yeah.
And just everybody's an expert now. Okay. Part 2. My second thing is that all 3 of you really well articulated intersectionality. Like, and intersectionality is very, very important. But if we all just had class consciousness and realized that if you don't make more than $500,000 a year, the government doesn't care about you.
Valid.
Right.
That's Black people,
right.
That's Black people, that's Asian people, that's gay people, that's straight people, that's trans people, that's disabled people. If you don't make more than $500,000 a year, the government does not care about you.
They don't even care about you more than that. It's just you can benefit them more.
Yeah. But like, it's just like, if people just understand, we're all in the same monetary boat, which is the third thing that I wanted to point out, that you also painted really beautifully, Tia, is like, they're trying to overwhelm us with all this big stuff. Like, you can repost Trump did this executive order all you want. That's not doing anything. What you can repost, like you said so beautifully, is this is what Raleigh is doing in the Raleigh community to help. That's what you do, and it starts local. And that's the most beautiful thing and the most impact that we can make is locally. And like, just to plug you a little bit, like, support a small Black-owned business. Buy a fluffy hat. Also, my review of the fluffy hat, sorry, this is a thing. My review of the fluffy hat is it squeezes your head really nicely, and it's not too tight, and you don't get a headache from it squeezing your head. And it's warm, and it covers my ears well, and I like it. If you don't know what to do for the community, I don't know, buy a fluffy hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let me...
else.
Oh, yeah, or buy a fluffy hat for somebody else. Buy a fluffy hat for a homeless person.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because that's what... And that was one of my plans, too. Any, like, scrap yarn I have or yarn that I can't figure out what color goes with what and stuff, just crochet it anyways and give it to somebody I see outside.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Like, that... They need to be warm, too.
Yeah.
And it's... Oh, my gosh. Support Black businesses. Support Black-owned businesses. Support local businesses, especially. I will speak for myself and myself only. These hats have been getting me through some tough times financially. That extra spare, like, people don't think they're just, oh, I'm just buying a hat. No, like, you literally just pay for my gas. You literally just bought me something to eat. You literally just helped me make a rent payment, a bill payment. You literally helped me so much with that little itty bitty $40 you just gave me for this freaking hat. And I don't think people understand how grateful I am to those who have purchased, to those who showed interest. Like, dude, you're supporting somebody actually make it somewhere, dude, because I mean, oh my gosh. I've been through some mess, and December and January in particular were just so hard for me. There were so many weeks where I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for this. I don't know how I'm gonna get anything to eat. And then somebody would place a random hat order, and I would be like, thank God, because I needed that $40 to go eat. I needed it to go down the road right quick, or just to Uber or something. Like, people don't understand. When you shop locally, that's what you're supporting. Target already got money. Temu already got money. Walmart already has money. Support local businesses as much as you can. If you know somebody on Instagram selling toothpaste, go buy their toothpaste. If you see somebody selling like bodily products, go buy those. Like, stop supporting these big old businesses, these corporations that have too much money. They, oh my gosh, stealing wages, don't want to pay nobody, like taking away DEI. You got all of these issues with all of these large businesses. You got people like me, like struggling genuinely, and this is my side business. And every time somebody buys a hat, I am able to do something that I needed to do and just did not have the money for. I think that people got to remember that.
What are your socials?
I'm sorry?
What are your socials?
For right now, I just have at FluffyHatLady on Instagram.
Okay.
I'm gonna be making a Facebook soon, a Snapchat soon, all the social media. So at least everybody who doesn't have Instagram only can reach out in other ways. I'm gonna be making an email soon, so people can reach me any type of way. I like to be available.
And I'm really grateful that you brought up that point too about like supporting, as someone who, and I'm gonna like clock myself for a second, like has really fed into consumerist kind of mentality for a really long time. Like, there were years when I was doing social media as my full-time job, and I came into all this money and I was like, ooh, I just need to buy all these things. And I was young and I was stupid, and I didn't for a second think, oh, who's making these things? Who's the company behind this? Like, I really, and I think also part of that came from like growing up with not a lot of money. So it was like, I didn't even have enough money to think about shopping from somebody, and like the differences between like shopping local or shopping big name, because it was like, oh, I got money, I can actually buy something for once.
Yeah, I feel that.
So like, I think that's really, I'm really glad you mentioned that and like put that thought into people's head to be like, no, like you have to literally think about it. Like, when you're supporting a small business, you literally are helping pay a person's rent. You're helping buy them food. You're helping them live, really. And I don't think a lot of people really think of it that way. That a lot of times it isn't just play money. A lot of times it's money they need.
And there's also so many other ways to support small businesses other than monetarily. So like for some people, they might be like, oh my gosh, I really can't afford a hat for $40. Like, I have one, but like so I'm using the one that I have until it's tatters, you know? Like, I understand that completely, but there's so many ways that we could go to your business and say, let's support you. Let's comment on your stuff. Let's send it to friends. Let's take pictures at events where we see you and say, oh my gosh, you should check this person out. Let's put it on a wish list so your family knows they could get it for you. You know, like literally anything. Like, and if you find a small business, obviously not everyone has it, but like if you can do Google reviews or like sending an email just saying, hey, I see what you're doing and I can't afford anything, but I really want to tell you you're amazing. Like, there's so many to build morale and support small businesses that we don't necessarily think will help, but it will.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that too, because the other day I was really close to 100 followers, and I was like, hey guys, could y'all like repost me and I can get to 100 followers? And it took nothing. Everybody posted it on their story, and I got the rest of the followers, got to 100 followers. Like, that helps, because that's people who potentially want a hat one day. Like, it's just spread the word. Like, you didn't even have to buy nothing.
Like that.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
The more people, then it just multiplies and multiplies and multiplies.
Yeah. And that's one of those good snowball effects. Like, just one person reposting it, the right person reposts, and just, you never know who could follow you based off of that. Just spreading the word. And being on somebody's explore page.
Yeah, and I tell Cody, like, with the vendor market thing, and like with drag queens wearing hats and stuff, I'm like, they look so cool, especially like the earring ones.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool. And like, people are gonna start seeing them and be like, and you're hat is so unique. People are gonna be like, wow, Ruby LaCour wears this like crazy hat with this earring on it. I want one.
Right.
Like, it's an iconic vision. You don't even need a brand logo because your hat being so unique is the logo.
Yeah.
And people are walking around with your logo everywhere.
Yeah.
Even like Vermilion was posting her at a drag event, and like she was in like half drag, so like she wasn't performing, but she was there supporting. She was wearing your hat. Like I've seen it a lot from all of them, and I don't know. It makes me happy for you.
When my bangs aren't banging, you better know that hat's going on.
That's so cool. I appreciate it because there have been moments where business has been slow and I'm like, dang, don't nobody want these hats. But it's like people want them. They probably just waiting till they get paid or waiting for a moment where they see something and they're like, okay, yeah, I want that type of hat. Because I think some people are shy and they're scared to ask me for what they really want per se. I've got a lot of inquiries and it's just, sometimes that just happens. Like I don't mind it at all. But I know with me staying consistent and posting, like I'm always doing custom orders, or I can always do it this color, or look at what Joanne's has today. Like it's anything helps. Yeah. Any type of word helps. So I appreciate it.
Well, and also like, I mean, as a small business owner, you have to remember too that like your brain is thinking about your business and what you do every single day. Everybody else will see you and will remember you, but you're not the top thought on their brain. So like, I think it's really hard for us as people to be like, well, business isn't going well. People aren't liking my stuff. They're not thinking about your stuff. You have to remind them. Like that's the part about how much information we're getting every single day. And that's why working on social media, making sure your story is on there, because people might scroll the stories and not scroll the information, or like you're consistent about posting, so people are seeing it on their algorithm, but they might not be scrolling that day. They might not have time to scroll for a week, and so they're not going to see your stuff or buy your stuff. But like reminding them you exist, and I think that's why the more diverse you are in what you have, like as you build, you will see, you're like, oh my gosh, I got a website and like people are coming from Google. Like, oh, I got people are coming from here, and like, holy crap, I didn't realize I could reach this many people because you didn't have the opportunity before. And the algorithms are all stupid. So let's be honest.
Make a dog sweater.
I'm thinking about it. I do want to make little cat hats, little dog hats. I saw a cute little daisy hat the other day and I was like, oh my God, I gotta learn how to make this. It's my cat. She's around here somewhere, but she needs a hat whether she likes it or not. Yeah. So I'm definitely working on pet accessories, even if it's not like vests and stuff. It might be like bandanas, because I know like that's a pretty simple one too.
Oh, a sweater for a dog. I thought you meant like a dog sweater to wear.
No, I meant for me. No, I was just thinking because my dog has anxiety, and the way that your hat squeezes, I feel like that in a sweater, like on his chest, he would like. Get like weighted blanket kind of vibes for him.
Yeah, I could do that.
No pressure. But I'm shelling out the money.
Hey, I got you. Yeah, I'll be doing my research. Yeah.
Personally, me being like, fashion girly and stuff, I'm just excited. I'm excited for like the clothing and stuff like you've thought about making, like leg warmers. I'm ready for a Fluffy Hat Lady collection. A big statement hat, and then like the rest, like crochet body, like.
I'm ready to see like multiple mannequins, head to toe, and like a dog mannequin, head to toe.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
I'm you into making dog things, but I'm you into making dog things because I will 100% buy it.
Oh
yes, I have so much stuff planned out that I just haven't made yet, but I will definitely get some spare yarn to work on those things and practice them. And I mean, I have half an outfit for myself. I just have to make the other part. So it's just like I am practicing. I'm getting some of that stuff planned out. Gonna have some different style hats soon.
Word.
Very, very soon for some Queer Aligning events, some other events.
And also another thing that I just want to touch on that I remembered. I know that you had talked a lot about like, like in making your hat and like all the things that you kept in mind. And I know like hair was a big one, and like keeping hair in and like being able to fit your hair. Do you feel like, I was just curious about the nuance of that, and like having, dreads or braids, and like how I know that you took that into consideration when making the hats.
Yes, definitely. So for one, when I started making my hats, I was following some what's it called? Some patterns on YouTube. That's how I'm a very visual person. So I'm following along and they're like, "Oh, make it this and this, inches for a normal size hat." And I'm trying to put it around my head and I'm like, my hair is a little bit too thick for this. And I know if my hair is too thick for it, then other Black people with big, chunky, protective styles can also not wear that. And I also keep in consideration for Zay as well. His hats I gotta make extra large because his hair is really thick. So it's like, I know if our locks are thick and we have, thicker hair, there's people out there that also struggle, even if they don't have locks or, things like that. There's thicker haired people that probably want to wear hats and they just don't fit right. And that was an issue I ran into when my hair was loose. Before I locked my hair up, I couldn't wear hats. Like I had to style my hair a certain way to be able to fit a hat on my head. And now I'm pretty sure I could fit a hat on my head if my hair was still loose and not locked. But that was the goal. Like there's a lot of Black people that can't wear no hats because they're not made for us in our thick hair. And I wanted to definitely make sure that people with locks, people with protective styles, maybe you got your hair in a ponytail, because I could definitely unroll this a little bit, put my hair up, and it'll still fit regular. Like I want to make it so that people who can, who having a bad day or want to wrap their hair up, they can go ahead and slap a hat on and it'll still fit.
Yeah. And I just love it. Like I love how, how fashionable, but also how practical you've made them too. So
yes, thank you. I be thinking about the peoples, man, and stuff that like I think that what really helps in starting a business and making a product for people is knowing what inconvenienced you that you would, if you wanted it, how would you want it to fit you? You know what I'm saying? And most times that's what other people also are considering when they're buying a product. They just don't know how to, I don't think it's like not know how to, but how do you tell Hershey's that you don't like the way that the Hershey bars are too sweet? Like, you know what I'm saying? At least with this, you can fit, or with, any personal business where you're making a product for somebody, you can at least make it to where, okay, I like when a product has this, that, and a third. That's how I'm going to make it. And I know if I like it like that, other people like it like that. Definitely. That was a big part of deciding how big to make the hats. Just hair.
and like that's another pro, like circling back to the small business thing, is like you said, if you don't like something about Hershey's, like what is the likelihood that Hershey's is going to care or you're going to get through them? If you're shopping
right,
business, you can have that one-on-one connection with somebody and be like, you know what, like I do feel like this lacks in this area, and like you're actually able to hear those concerns and adapt or a new product that maybe fits that person's needs more. Which is just another testament to like why you should shop small.
And you
right,
and you care, and that shows. So sorry, not to cut you off.
No, that's all I was gonna say.
That shows like so through and everything. And I've been wanting to say this the past few things that you've said. Like for all the people watching, it's not for show. Like you're a real ass bitch, and I know that. Like you're always reposting everything. I look, and almost every event that I post, you're like reposting it, and that really does mean a lot. And I really appreciate that you do that. And it's even inspiring as someone that I feel like I do repost things when I see them, but sometimes I'm not on social media as much as I should be because I think it's so intertwined with my job. And I'm like, okay, it's a reminder to me, like, oh, I need to go scroll through the people that I support's pages and be like, I need to share this and I need to share this.
Yeah. Most times with that, it's I just have a habit of scrolling, and sometimes I don't touch my phone at all, and sometimes I'm on my phone all day. And if I don't scroll through my feed on Instagram, I at least look on stories, and people are almost always reposting stuff. So if I see you posted something about Queer Online, I go ahead and repost it. Or if I see one of my music friends are hosting a show, I'm going to repost that because I'm already on the stories. And I'm only saying that for people who are listening. If you feel like you want to support, but you don't want to feel like you're doing too much, even just reposting. You don't even have to say like, hey guys, go follow. You don't have to say anything. Just repost it. Just people see that. And Coe's a testament to that. Coe sees me reposting everybody's stuff. Everybody's stuff. It's not just Queer Alina, or even I'm with In the Fest. I don't even just repost In the Fest stuff. I repost everybody I love and support. You're getting reposted. Even if you're a small business, you're getting reposted, because that helps. It goes a long way. And I see it firsthand personally too. It does go a long way.
And it comes back to what you were saying about how we're all in this together. Like,
all in
no matter
together.
Exactly. If I knew the words, I would sing with you, but I don't know all the words. I just know the all in this together part.
Local businesses have to help each other out. Like, we're not
in
competition with local businesses. We're all in competition with Amazon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God,
y'all. And all of the sweatshops. You know what I'm saying?
So with that being said, how can Queer Alina help you with your business?
Oh, so I mean, yeah, just reposting. That's what's best. Even if you repost and tag, like those of you who have purchased a hat, repost and tag me with, Fluffy Hat Lady up there. So people will see you reposted it and like, oh, that's a nice hat. But when you tag me as well, they don't have to ask you personally, hey, who'd you get this hat from? If you go ahead and tag me as well, they can just go to my page and eliminate talking. Because I think that's another thing socially with spreading the word and awareness with stuff. People feel like they have to talk more than they do. You don't have to do all that. We can just repost and go on about your day, and that would be fine. Because I mean, I think even with a bunch of people who purchased hats from the Queer Alina launch party, when they reposted, like 1 or 2 people followed just from them reposting, and that helped. Like that helped me get closer to 100 followers. So like just every little interaction, repost, it helps. Anything helps, honestly.
Do you have a Google form for custom hat orders, or like how do people order a custom hat from you? Email? What are we looking at?
Yeah, I need to get into how to use Google Forms and stuff. I know it's very simple. We will talk. We will talk. But right now, just place an order through my Instagram at FluffyHatLady. I'm trying to get my DMs to work so that you're not sending a request. I'm not special. Please just send me a DM. I will get back to you as soon as I can. I do work at a coffee shop, so my hours are, I'm up very early in the day. Late at night, not so much, but I'll get back to you in the morning. Just send a DM. I will see it. Especially if you comment on a picture like, hey, I want to order one of these. I'll DM you if you comment on one of the pictures. Like I am very reasonable. I'm going to ask you how you like it. Do you want the thinner yarn or the thicker yarn? Is this a good reference photo for you? I will confirm colors and everything. I just want to make sure you get a hat you like. So don't be scared to DM me and talk to me. I'm not going to bite you. I just want you to have what you like.
And like with that too, like you were even saying before, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you want people to reach out, even if it's something that you don't feature yet, that you think, oh, maybe she could make this, like just reaching out and being like, don't be scared to reach out, and just because the worst thing you're going to say is, I don't think I can do that right now.
Yes. And even, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that, because I have gotten some custom orders where I'm going to test myself and my capabilities. And I have let people know, like, I haven't done this before, but I'm willing to try it just for you. And I will set my prices based off of that, how well I do versus, whatnot. And I also, Dang, I just had my point. I had it. Oh, right. If you have a custom order and I say that I don't think I can do it personally, I know people that I can send you to who can 110% I know can do it and are also in the Raleigh area and can hook you up. Like, I know even if I can't do it, I know somebody you can go to. So it's still locally made, you know. So at least if not me, I know somebody.
I appreciate that about you so much. I was gonna say that earlier too. Like you and Bree both being at the events and both being like crocheters.
Oh yeah.
Seeing you both like be so supportive of each other was so
Yeah.
nice. Because when I realized, because like I didn't 100% realize that Bree had made a lot of hats, and then I was like, I was a little scared at first. I was like, oh no, like I don't want it to be like
Yeah.
But like you all were so supportive of each other, and that was just like that is what we need. You know?
Yes.
And I just love that.
Yeah, because I think that people are willing to support both.
Yeah.
I think that because I've seen, I saw people get a plushie, and I saw them also still come stop by my table. So I don't have a problem with it at all. Me and Bree are homies. That's my dog. Like I want to see them succeed. They want to see me succeed. Like I'm all for it. I got a little turtle plushie from Bree, and it's so cute. Like, yeah, I'm all for all crocheters, all. Even if, I mean, oh my gosh, I bought a couple of mushrooms from oh my gosh, I'm blanking on your name over there. I bought a couple of your mushrooms from your table the other day.
Yeah, the crystals. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm all for like local businesses, small businesses.
I thought you were talking about like crochet mushrooms. I was like, who had crochet mushrooms?
Yeah.
Like,
oh no, I want to crochet mushrooms. I think they're so cute. But yeah, I'm all for supporting all small businesses. And even like you said, with both of us doing crochet, Bree also does a different form of like Bree makes their hats differently than me. I have a different crochet style. Theirs are a little bit more detailed, and they also do plushies and stuff. So like we're still on different ends, and we're different enough from each other that it's truly not a competition. It's just like have both of us. You will appreciate both of our products.
That's like saying like Monet and Van Gogh were competing.
Yeah, like you gotta appreciate both.
So as we're almost hitting the hour mark, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about, that you wanted to plug, anything else that you felt you wanted to say and get out there?
I would say just look at my Instagram at FluffyHatLady. Also on my main page, I repost a lot of other businesses and stuff. So I do, like, for example, Bree's page. I have another friend that just started up their business, Hannah. She just started her business, and people were asking me if she was going to be at Carolina. So let me plug Hannah in and just say that, oh no, Hannah should join the crew, like, because it's been nice to see like all of our friends starting to do like our stuff. It's so cool. I have a lot of friends that do a lot of art stuff, so I'm constantly reposting them on FluffyHatLady. On my Instagram, it's ILY222 Tia, like I love you too, Tia. And I'm reposting music stuff a lot on that one as well. So anybody who's listening who wants to get into music, I am within the fest. I can help you get a spot at open mic night, explore your music, put it out there, things like that. But I support anybody who's, morally sound. Let me put that out there. Anyone who's morally sound, I support you. And it's the time for supporting each other right now. Last thing I want to say is, again, support local businesses, shop at your farmer's market, go to them random Instagram pages you see and they selling body lotions and stuff, support them. Like, try your hardest to avoid these really big corporations right now, because they don't care about us and they don't care about the people that work for them. So we got to support each other, get our own economy going. Let's keep the money within ourselves as a community. It isn't just about like who's black, who's white anymore. Like, it's us as a people now. We got to come together. It's us as a people. Let's get right. Like, as much as, I am a black owned business, that is important, but I still am a person, and we are all people, and it's getting scary out here. It don't matter if you black or white. Let's just all support each other. Yeah, exactly. So let's just all support each other. Shoot. It's getting scary.
I have two weird off-topic questions that embarrass Rebecca every single time. Tia, I'm a chef. I work in restaurants. Okay, these are questions I've been asking everybody. First off, what is your favorite meal?
Oh my god.
Right now. It doesn't have to be of all time because that's a lot of pressure. But like right now,
okay, yes.
to choose a meal, like what's your favorite?
Right now. Oh my gosh, right now? I've been digging like pasta dishes and noodle dishes. So like spaghetti and pho have been my favorite right now.
Yeah.
Digging soups and stuff. It might just be the weather though. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then my second question is, what is your favorite way to eat a potato?
Oh my god, your questions are so good. Oh my god.
Someone gets
I'll leave.
Oh, there's so many good ways. Okay. I think the best way to sum up how I love potatoes, I think a loaded, open baked potato, like,
you get it.
you know what I mean?
You
one of the
get it.
big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Tia, you get it.
Yeah.
So many people don't like baked potatoes.
People don't like those?
My favorite way to eat a potato is a loaded baked potato, but so many people don't say that. But I'm like, it could be loaded just like classic, like bacon, cheese, chives, sour cream, or it could be loaded like barbecue, or it could be loaded with curry, or it could be loaded with chili. You know?
Oh, there's so many variations. Oh my gosh.
But it has to
And
have
they're so
like, that
good.
nice, like salty skin.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's so important.
I worked at a steakhouse chain that shall not be named, and that's how we did it.
Honestly, the like Wendy's old ones.
Oh yeah.
I probably ate my fair share of those.
I tear them up. That's the quickest place to get a little baked potato from.
These issues, I'm going to do a whole page, and it's going to be favorite ways to eat a potato, and then I'm going to attribute to every person we've interviewed.
No, this should just be your mini cookbook. Like we're gonna have one that's just like foods, and the other one's just gonna be like how people like their potatoes.
We could do a mini,
yes,
like a 0.5 issue that's just my recipes.
No, and we were literally talking about this with the last person that we interviewed. Like we're about to have a cooking show, or like it's gonna be a mukbang if you will. Everybody come back, and we're all
we gotta
a meal, and we're all gonna eat it together.
We gotta. I love food. I love eating.
And I love making spaghetti. Love spaghetti. It's not just a song by Beyonce. But it is a thing.
Man.
I made fun on a date once.
Spaghetti by Beyonce?
How have I never heard that?
It's one of the best Beyonce songs of all time.
Oh, real?
Spaghetti by Beyonce?
What?
Oh.
Cowboy Carter.
Oh. I didn't know.
I'm the only culture person here.
Oof.
I do actually like the song. I do like the song.
We're all in this together. Words.
Cowboy Carter is one album of the year. Spaghetti is one of the best tracks on the album.
Yeah. Hey.
Cowboy Carter.
Okay.
Hey.
Everybody's assignment is to get off this Zoom and listen to Spaghetti by Beyonce.
Might have to.
I've seen High School Musical.
We've all seen High School Musical. I don't think we need to go back there. The acting is so bad. No, I said we don't.
No, it's Drew Seeley in his heyday.
That's so funny. So we gotta leave that where it's at.
I will make you spaghetti or pho, whichever one you want, but I will also make you a baked potato loaded.
Oh, I am so down. I am so down.
Yeah. And then
Yo.
mashed potatoes as well.
I love
Her
how
mashed potatoes sound really good though.
we talk about Ruby's horseradish mashed potatoes in every podcast, but her first one will not be featured. So we're literally like edging the people.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I didn't put her horseradish mashed potatoes
Ooh.
in the interview.
You didn't?
But Ruby's an attention whore, so she's gonna love that she's been mentioned in every single interview.
Yeah, she is.
Also, there's a chance to interview her again.
Yeah, we will at the year mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ruby was actually my first customer at the Queer Alana event, and it was so cool because I was like, I was just hearing Ruby's name everywhere, and I didn't know who Ruby was at first. And then when I found out that was the Ruby that bought my hat, I was like, oh my God. That's kind of wild. It was, I don't know, it felt like an honor.
And that hat is her with the jewelry on it.
Yeah, everybody was asking for the piercings after that, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so glad that people are getting them.
Yeah, and that's the oat milk of hats. You know what I mean? It's the dollar.
Yeah.
She got oat milk.
Now I'm gonna have more charms and stuff. I do want to put that out there for anyone listening. I am gonna have more charms. There's gonna be the big old nice paper clips and stuff, and I'm gonna make little chains and stuff to go on here. I'm gonna be making some cute stuff. So we just gotta stay tuned. Follow FluffyHatLady. You know, holla at me.
Well, this was amazing. I'm so glad you agreed to sit down. It's always so great talking to you, but it was great to sit down and talk about your business more. And I'm just happy. Well,
oh my gosh, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. This was really cool. This is a nice experience.
You like thrive. We can't wait to see like the fluffy hat revolution.
Oh my god, yeah. I always joke like when when people like walk away from my table, I'm like, my cat army is growing.
I love that. That's
yes.
Like, you need to make a reel like that, honestly.
I know I'm going to. I have to.
And then it's just you, like that would eat.
I gotta do that. Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Tia.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was nice talking to you guys. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all be safe. I love you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for watching the Queer Vision podcast. One more time, I am Coe of Kanekalon, Coe Star. This is
Becca.
Megan.
And we are the Queer Vision Pod. I hope you enjoyed this amazing episode with FluffyHatLady. We love her so much over here at Carolina. She was at our launch party. You will see her at future events. And yes, if you watched this whole thing, thank you so much for watching as always or listening. You can find us at queerlina.org or queerlina.org on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. That's all we're at right now. And TikTok, and we'll be at other places soon. And you will find us here at the Queer Vision Pod every week with another queer artist, business owner, drag artist.
Drama.
Follow Tia.
Follow Tia at FluffyHatLady.
One more time.
LuffyHatLady. Thank you.
The spelling thing has to happen every week.
Okay. Bye.